Farmers know crop insurance is essential for managing risk. It's also valuable for maximizing revenue. The crop insurance officers at Farm Credit Services of America have proprietary tools and expertise to deliver the personalized crop and revenue protection you need for the peace of mind you want. Nobody delivers crop insurance like this. Discover the difference by calling 800-884-FARM. Agriculture works here.
We hope you are all enjoying the student productions of your school. Tonight's event and every event produced by your school during the school year are created, filmed, and produced by the students you love to follow and support. Become a booster of your school's live event coverage by becoming a sponsor. It's a great way to show your support of the athletes and students in your community. As a sponsor, you'll get great visibility for your business, organization, or family by supporting the live productions of your school.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Limestone canyons, flowing waterfalls, and pristine beauty make Spearfish a sanctuary for those seeking the ultimate escape. Outdoor enthusiasts will find top-notch sport climbing, mountain biking, and UTV OHV trails. Guests are steps away from peaceful hiking trails and tranquil streams. Relax and rehash your day's adventure at one of our award-winning local breweries. Finding rest is an important part of any adventure. Lodging in Spearfish comes with a variety of choices, from cabins, B&Bs, and campgrounds to the comforts of your popular brand-name hotels. To find your unique adventure in Spearfish, go to visitspearfish.com now.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Veteran Sports Complex here on the campus of the Vermillion High School as we are getting you set for an evening, I should say mid-afternoon game of soccer between the Vermillion Tanagers and the T-Area Titans. Our first soccer broadcast here on Live Ticket TV, and it's great to have you along here on this Thursday, let's call it mid-afternoon. Now, first, let's get into that entire conversation as it's not quite 4:30, but when looking at it, we are starting much ahead of schedule because, well, I guess when there's rain in the forecast, might as well not tear up the field as much as possible and move everything up. Now, earlier today, I found myself in Canton, South Dakota, where we did see some rain showers up in the Sioux Falls area, but as we worked our way south, things started to clear off, and right now here at Veteran Sports Complex, we are looking at overcast and cloudy skies. Could still be a chance yet of rain later on this evening. But otherwise, for soccer, it's not quite perfect weather conditions. It's still a little sticky out there. You can certainly feel that humidity in the air and we'll get a little bit warmer as closer to kickoff here in just a moment, right around 83 degrees outside, and we'll talk more about what it's like playing in these kind of weather conditions during the fall. What do players necessarily want to find themselves in? As again, we have ourselves a great night of soccer ahead of ourselves, along with Cole Larson. Cole, I know yourself, you mentioned it before, not a big soccer guy, so you're kind of you're along for the ride. Are you looking forward to it? Never called soccer before, correct?
That is correct. Never in my life.
Well, we're about to have a little bit of fun with it. I haven't called soccer myself in a few years, but I know I watch soccer each and every Saturday. I'm huge into the Premier League. I don't spend too much time in the MLS anymore just because my team started off in the MLS, one of the worst teams out there, and finished towards the bottom, but they're still finishing up their season. But we won't get into that as we're getting set for the starting lineups here. And while we have a chance, let's take a look at our main starting girls that we will see for both the Vermillion Tanagers and the T-Area Titans. We'll first take a look at the T-Area Titans and how they'll be going. A team that has a lot more kind of a senior leadership through them that we'll see, and just a couple younger girls, a little bit opposite of what we'll see with the Vermillion Tanagers. Tanagers do still have that juniors and seniors in there, but also a little bit of a 7th grade mixed in there as well. Our starting lineup for the T-Area Titans will be number 1, Kendra McKinney, the defensive senior. Number 12, Anna Murray, the junior midfielder. Number 13, Maya Newhart, the sophomore defender. Number 17, Chloe Wilson, the sophomore midfielder. Number 22, Stella Peterson, the senior midfielder. Number 23, Jessica Nelson, the senior goalkeeper. Number 25, Sage Hoffman, the freshman midfielder. Number 29, Sydney Newhart, the senior forward. Number 30, Maddie Bates, the forward junior. Number 33, Kara Knudsen, the senior defender. And finally, number 36, Sydney Sherwood, the senior midfielder for the T-Area Titans. For the Vermillion Tanagers, it will look a little like this for this evening. Number 3, Megan Brady, the senior forward. Number 4, Carly Johnson, the senior midfielder. Number 5, Taylor Roovers, the 7th grader who's playing in the midfielder. Number 9, Taylor Doan, the senior midfielder. Number 10, Marissa Warren, the freshman forward. Number 11, Sydney Christensen, the senior defender. Number 13, Grace Chauncey, the junior midfielder. Number 18, Lauren Mockler, the senior defender. Number 19, Brenna Brigham, the senior defender. Number 25, Janaea Cleveland, the junior midfielder. And finally, number 31, Chandler Cleveland, the junior goalkeeper for the Vermillion Tanagers. And as a look at your starting 11 for both the Vermillion Tanagers and the T-Area Titans, we're stepping aside for the national anthem and back here in just a moment.
Farmers know crop insurance is essential for managing risk. It's also valuable for maximizing revenue. The crop insurance officers at Farm Credit Services of America have proprietary tools and expertise to deliver the personalized crop and revenue protection you need for the peace of mind you want. Nobody delivers crop insurance like this. Discover the difference by calling 800-884-FARM. Agriculture works here.
We hope you are all enjoying the student productions of your school. Tonight's event and every event produced by your school during the school year are created, filmed, and produced by the students you love to follow and support. Become a booster of your school's live event coverage by becoming a sponsor. It's a great way to show your support of the athletes and students in your community. As a sponsor, you'll get great visibility for your business, organization, or family by supporting the live productions of your school.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Welcome back to Veteran Sports Complex as we get you set for a mid-afternoon soccer game between the Vermillion Tanagers and the T-Area Titans. Again, this game getting moved up from an hour, set to start at 5:30 this evening, but with rain in the weather forecast, have decided to move everything up and see if we can't get the game in before those rain showers move in later on this evening. If they do still fall in the forecast, again, looking outside as we find ourselves in the comforts of the broadcast booth up here at the Veteran Sports Complex. It is overcast and cloudy. Once again, joined with Cole Larsh here on the broadcast, and should be a great night of soccer as right now the officials are meeting together. This has been a game, and we see this when it comes to soccer, especially here in the state of South Dakota, where you find yourself at in the area of the state. The teams that are around you, you'll see them multiple times throughout the season, home and away. And of course, these two teams are now meeting up for their second time this season. Earlier this season, it was a 5-0 victory with the T-Area Titans getting the win at home against the Vermillion Tanagers. But the Tanagers, led by Captain Megan Brady, are looking to find themselves another victory here this week as they were on the road this past Tuesday up in Garrettson, South Dakota, where they got a huge 5-0 victory over the Blue Dragons, and again trying to put themselves in position for the playoffs that are quickly approaching here towards the middle of August. Right now, the Titans and fate of their own destiny as well as they find themselves towards the top of the standings here in Class A. And of course, if you're not aware, when it comes to soccer in the state of South Dakota, there is AA level and then there is A level. That is all you see. Of course, the smaller schools do not formulate a soccer team, and we are underway here at the Veteran Sports Complex on the Raleigh French football field. And as you're watching it as well, something that can play a little bit of a trick as you are a player, especially towards the near sidelines, is what is officially out and what is officially in. And as you see it here on Live Ticket TV, you're looking at what's deep red on your TV screen there. That is what the out-of-bounds lines are. Of course, there's also the white that's mixed in there for the football lines. And again, as a player, that can be extremely confusing at times. Now, here at Raleigh French football field, it's not as defined, so you find yourself a little bit easier to know when it is in and out. But when you get up to the AA level, you'll get a little bit more confused on what's in and out and exactly where the lines are, because of course the football fields are so much more defined, so much bigger of lines compared to soccer. You usually just see a simple yellow line and that is all. As the T-Area Titans here just already in the second minute try to set up a through ball, cut off by the Tanagers. A little bit of a clearance, but it doesn't go too far, just outside the 18-yard box. And the T-Area Titans collect once again as they continue to press and attack. And Brady finally comes in, shuts it down, kicks it out of bounds. But of course, this is a chance for the Titans to set up a little bit more of their offense. No offsides when it comes to a throw-in as they work it over into the corner. We'll see what the Titans decide to go with. They want to work this one out, try to maybe fit something in the box, but nothing carrying there for the Titans. Right now, miscommunication by Vermillion. This is that opportunity. Just need to look upfield, find your teammates to pass to, and start working it out. But you don't want to work it back to the middle of the field. And right now, the Vermillion Tanagers, all hands on deck for defense as they finally cleared it out, but not one single attacker up in the forward spot to give a little bit of relief and give the Tanagers back possession. So the attack once again comes from the T-Area Titans as they work it down the near sideline across inside the box. Is shut down for a moment, but here comes the second cross. This one goes across the face of the goal, not in the best position there with Sydney Newhart, the senior forward, as she watched that one go by, and it goes out of bounds for a goal kick. Well, already into the fourth minute, still scoreless here between the Vermillion Tanagers and the T-Area Titans. Cole, you enjoying it so far?
Yeah, so far. I mean, for me, it's just been a lot of camera moving, but
you're going to, of course, get that in soccer up and down. But right now, Vermillion really still looking for their first attack here of the game as the Titans currently just putting the press on when it comes to throw-ins. Vermillion still looking down the sidelines. That's where they want to work the ball, and now it goes out of bounds. Last touch there by Grace, the junior midfielder, so it gives it back to the Titans. Now a possession given away by the Titans. Across the halfway line it goes, but possession given right back to the Vermillion Tanagers as they continue to try to work it down that right side of the field. Nothing going there. And this one will finally be cleared and go out of bounds. Last touch there by the Tanagers and Lauren Mockler. Well, as you continue to give that perspective as well, Cole, this is something that as a player, you find yourself in a difficult position. The first 5 minutes are really trying to field out the field conditions. And when it comes to those kind of turf conditions, grass conditions, it all depends on the speed of the ball, how quickly it's going to go. Of course, on a turf, it's going to go a little bit faster, and it's going to spend a little bit more time bouncing around. Not necessarily like a bouncy ball, but it's going to spend more time around the shins and the knees and have to try to control that. And now seeing an attack by the Tanagers trying to carry it up the right side. It's cut off, but the Tanagers regain possession right at the midfield spot. Haven't really seen too much of the ball work to this near side yet. Has spent quite a bit of time for the Tanagers on that far side, trying to put something to Brady in the middle. Takes a deflection off the clearance and will go out of bounds. Vermillion will keep it in the attacking half. Throwing in, working it down the sideline. Tanagers continue to see the defense of the T-area Titans right now in possession. It's Doan. Doan, the senior, has it knocked away from her by Maya Newhart, the sophomore defender. So Vermillion Tanagers with their really first opportunity to get it inside the 18-yard box tonight, and they swing it in with a long shot through the throw. And then Brady, after she took the first shot, nothing doing. In fact, looked like she might have even kicked a defender there, had a second opportunity, but puts it into the weaning hands of Jessica Nelson, the goalkeeper for the T-area Titans. That's an easy warm-up for her, and it still remains scoreless as we're now into the 7th minute of play here in Vermillion. Getting these two teams met up just under a month ago. Back in South Dakota with a 5-0 victory belonging to the Titans. Now we're going to get an official stoppage, and we're finally going to see a sub come in. Kendra McKinney, the senior defender, after she got kicked there by Brady, hasn't been all right. She kind of continued to limp on, trying to work that out, but in the end is not going to be able to continue on, and we'll see the substitution as now Elena Otten, the sophomore defender, will step in her position. Now, if you're a fan of professional soccer, of course, you don't see a lot of floppy when it comes to high school soccer necessarily for girls. When they go down, this one hurts, and hopefully you see Kendra back out there, as again, she is limping just slightly. Sometimes it's just that tenderness of the leg, and again, was unable to carry on. So she's out for a little bit as the Titans try to work it up now up against the near sideline. And so far, we have just seen this kind of flip sides. Vermillion working the far side, the Titans trying to work the near side. No one has really controlled the middle of the pitch so far. Still scoreless, and now a far shot out that takes a deflection and then goes out of bounds. Unorthodox goalkeeping there for Chandler Cleveland. If you're going to come out, take a deflection there, make sure you go and pick it up. She saw it come off her fingertips and just kind of simply roll out of bounds, which now allow the T-area Titans a corner. So the Titans, their first corner here of the soccer game. Hand up as it's swung in nicely into the middle. Couple of Titans clash. No one able to put a header on it, and finally cleared away. Nervous moments for the Vermillion Tanagers, as again, Titans had a couple different girls try to put a header on it, but unfortunately, for T-area, nothing doing and clear it out. But here they come once again, this time up the far sideline, but sniffing this out. Great defensive play there from Warren, the freshman for the Vermillion Tanagers. Back in for the Titans. Controlling it still along that far sideline. Over to the corner. And this one just goes out of bounds. Hard play for the T-area Titans, especially being the coffin corner. That's always, if you can have a good leg, if it's your strong leg, you have that opportunity to cross it in. But sometimes the way defenders are positioned, not necessarily the easiest thing to do. And usually it's what you just saw there. It goes simply out of bounds for a goal kick. Vermillion finally clears, but the T-area Titans will run all the way back. Goes all the way back to Nelson on a pass. She'll take her time, look up and examine her players, make the far pass now over to that far side. It's Knutson who has it, and now goes out of bounds. Vermillion Tanagers will get it with the quick giveaway from the T-area Titans. Again, Vermillion just their second time really having possession. I guess they even have possession this time. Close to the 18-yard box. They've really only worked it in once so far as we approach 10 minutes in. And now Brady just lets this one roll on by. A great idea from Megan Brady. But Taylor Roofers, the 7th grader, wasn't necessarily thought where Brady thought she was. And said it was a Titan defender there to clear things. Titans have it once again as Vermillion shows a little bit more aggression with Brady. But now a pass that's up. Cleveland's going to come out to the half circle and takes it on a bounce and gets a good clearance. Goes all the way back into the back row for the T-area Titans defensively. And they try to make something happen in the middle, but a giveaway just inside the circle, but stolen right back by the Titans. Again, still scoreless here in the first half between T-area and the Vermillion Tanagers. Vermillion a huge win on Tuesday night, a 5-0 victory. Also a win earlier this season. They've only had 2 so far. Coming into this game tonight, 2-4-1, where the Vermillion girls find themselves at. Titans with control along the near boundary. 2 Titans ready to check in here at the next dead ball include Kendra Nelson and Sam Van Tol will come in at the next dead ball for the Titans. Into the 11th minute, playing 40-minute halves. Find ourselves scoreless. Good crowd on hand as well for both the Vermillion Tanagers and the T-area Titans. Of course, just the trip up and down Interstate I-29 is all this journey had to be made. Again, saw rain up in that Sioux Falls, the T area, earlier this afternoon. Thought that might work its way down into Vermillion, but have since just seen overcast and cloudy skies. Talk more about the weather here in just a moment as Vermillion, with Cleveland right now, tries to put something into the box. Her left-footed shot carries all the way through, but Jessica Nelson, the roller, simply picks it up, puts the punter's boot into it, finds itself still in the back half for the Titans. So once again, trying to play it from the back. High pass up, but finds no one in white, and here comes Vermillion with the quick takeaway. By the way, the injury earlier, we're now seeing trainer Richardson have a bag of ice and is going to put, looks like, ice on the ankle of Kendra McKinney, who again went down earlier with an ankle injury for the T-area Titans. As she's just getting strapped up, or maybe, looks like maybe they're actually putting ice there down on her knee instead of the ankle area. A little bit of a ball, trying to get a through ball in there for the T-area Titans, but Cleveland playing a high line right now, quickly picks it up defensively. And now a deep ball, Vermillion off the communication. This one goes out of bounds. It looks like Brady just trying to set that through ball, get something on the run. but miscommunication, and again goes out of bounds. So a couple substitutions in and out for the T area Titans as they have dug quickly into their bench. For the Vermillion Tanagers, have yet to look for a sub. Vermillion with it on the near sideline. Throw into Brady, who wasn't quite necessarily ready for it. This one goes beyond her leg, and Titans now have it quickly up once again, trying to get it off to the near side. With it is Sammy Van Tool, who just checked on. Has it inside the 18-yard box. Breaks by one defender. Sets it back towards the middle. Now off to the left. Popped up high in the air and headed away by the Tanagers. The T-area Titans took too long to set up the attack there. And eventually another shot comes in from outside 18. And this one gathered in by Cleveland. But a 2-on-3 for the Titans there. Had an opportunity to score, but unable to do so. And again, when you get those kind of counterattacks, have to make it go quickly. Cannot waste any time. And that was kind of what the Titans were looking at. Found themselves, and even Van Tol there, carrying just a little bit too much away from the 18-yard box, and eventually trying to cross it back in. And that space, as we mentioned, closed down for the T-area Titans. As we continue on just into the 15th minute, it is still scoreless between the Vermillion Tanagers and the T-area Titans. Titans, though, have had a majority of possession of the ball, have certainly looked a lot more comfortable. But on the run of play, here comes Brady, and Roovers once again just not quite into position. And there's nothing wrong with that for Taylor. She's not quite for sure if Brady's going to be playing it forward to her or back. But that time Brady played it forward, eventually knocked out of bounds. Here comes Vermillion again. The long throw to Brady. She pops it high in the air. Great idea. But again, Vermillion has to bring an attack with. They're not able to do so. And this one collected. And Nelson will put a boot into it. Wind pulls a little bit. Taylor there, and almost stolen away by Brady, but finally the Titans try to collect. Takes a deflection, goes out of bounds, and it will stay with the Titans. Here they come quickly. 4 or 5 girls forward, but a strong defensive line is now Vermillion with their defense starting to play a little bit more as a line together, move together. Haven't seen any offsides called, but great to see that defensive line come together. And now Brady puts up the field goal, hit off the goalpost, and looks like it went in. Cole Larsh says, he puts his hands up. He says, yeah, that was good.
That's 3 points for Vermillion right there.
3-0, right? Brady just having a go as doing it once again. And you have to feel as though Brady is seeing something with Jessica Nelson. You take those kind of shots, Cole, when you feel confident that the goalkeeper can't necessarily make a great save. As we saw that time, Nelson doesn't bring 2 hands in to collect the ball and just deflects it out of bounds. So it will be a corner kick, and Vermillion will have their first corner kick of the evening. We will see a quick substitution as it will be Madigan Wallen, the sophomore, who will come in for the first time tonight for the Vermillion Tanagers. The corner kick is low. It's lost by Nelson. Still in the box. A shot comes in, but leaning back was Janaea Cleveland and sends it over the crossbar. And you're going to hear me preach on this, Cole, and it's nothing you can do about when it comes quickly, but the further you start leaning back, the more and more it's going to carry above the bar. And Cleveland with a great opportunity there. Not able to capitalize. But also go back to an earlier comment I made. That's where we just see the shakiness of Nelson, the goalkeeper. Has an opportunity, the senior, to come up, close the space off, and grab it. She drops it and then loses the ball completely. Vermillion miss a gold opportunity. All this coming basically against the run of play for the Vermillion Tanagers, as the Titans have had a majority of the possession. And now, no foul called as Sammy Van Tool throws kind of a stiff arm into the back there of Brianna. And again, sometimes the officials will let that play, but it made Brianna kick it out of bounds. And that's just kind of how the officials see it, how they want it to go. You can get a little bit of chippiness in a soccer game, surely. If it's nothing really to doing inside the box, don't have to call the foul. So this one still remains scoreless. And really, whistle free throughout. Find ourselves now in the 18th minute. Scoreless between the Vermillion Tanagers and the T Area Titans. Well, great to have you along here on Live Ticket TV. Also, big shout out to our sponsors as well, including First Bank and Trust here in Vermillion. When you need your banking needs, whether it's home, ag, and more, First Bank and Trust can take care of it all. And now a shot comes in just outside. And this one, a big goal for the T Area Titans. It looked like it was shut down there by the Vermillion Tanagers, but a shot across the face of goal. Cleveland can't get down in time, and the Titans now lead it 1-0 just before the halfway mark of the first half. So Vermillion now finds themselves trailing 1-0. Now, I believe on the goal there, that might have been Sammy Van Tool who scored, or it might have been Maddie Batts who might have got a piece of it as well. I have to see if we can't find out for sure. No, it was Maddie who got the goal. She has it once again, swings this one too far across and will go out of bounds. But again, as we mentioned, against the run of play, it's 1-0, the T Area Titans. And a good big shout out to Maddie Batts there, the junior forward, who just found a little bit of space, pulled it back, and swung it across. Cleveland not able to get down in time. And the Titans now lead it 1-0. Titans scored 3 goals in the first half, and their 5-0 victory the last time these two teams met up. Again, certainly don't give a favor to the Vermillion Tanagers and losing this one yet. They've had their opportunities, and we've seen Brady and shaky moments from the goalkeeper Nelson for the Titans. But here come T Area once again, but quickly sniffed out by Cleveland. Cleveland continues to play a high line closer to the top of that 18-yard box. Nothing wrong with doing that, especially with the Titans, as they aren't doing what we've seen from Brady earlier and trying to maybe make sure Cleveland stays back. And again, looking at Chandler right now, she is standing right there on the edge of the box. And now we'll see another substitution, as it will be Carly Johnson who will come out of the game, and Taylor Doan, the senior midfielder, will check back in. 1-0, the T Area Titans lead it over the Vermillion Tanagers. Titans trying to look for the through ball once again. This one, though, behind. Trying to get to Sammy, but she puts a big hip check, gets the turnover, but then just plays it upfield. And Sammy's got to know if she's going to make that play, she's got to chase after it herself. And then just finished out of bounds, trying to get back into the defensive position, Sydney Christensen. So the Titans have it once again. Trying to get it across into the middle. This one goes beyond anybody. Ball loose. Titans control once again as it comes back to the halfway mark. Plays something in the middle. Turnover. Vermillion has it. Controlled with the Tanagers right now. Wallen. And now Cleveland points for the through ball. Brady had a moment of it, still chasing after it. And this one finally goes out of bounds, as Murray just had to carry it out, using the right foot with Brady nipping on the heels. So Cleveland will now have the throw in near sideline. Throws it in right into Brady. Tries a little kick behind her. Doesn't necessarily work, but still Titans lose possession at the top of the box, and just wanted to make something happen was Wallen, and this shot goes well off to the right side. It goes out of bounds. And Cole, you see that type of play from Wallen because just want to have that opportunity yourself, trying to still get your legs underneath you as a substitute and want to make a difference as well. Prove that you should get some more playing time, and it comes down to not necessarily looking up before you make that kick. You have the sense of where you think you know the goal is at, then all of a sudden you put a leg into it, hoping it finds it somewhere on the framework, and unfortunately that one just drifts on wide. You enjoying it so far, Cole?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying listening to you talk about it because you know sure a lot more than I do, so.
Have to be happy myself as well. The boys in red won earlier this morning. Talking about my favorite soccer team. I'm a huge Manchester United fan. That's all I'm going to say about that because sometimes they struggle. Now a through ball once again. Here comes Sammy along the 18-yard box. Try to cross something in. Takes a deflection. Back to Sammy. She'll try it once again, but this time comes off the outside of her foot. Finds its way into the hands of Cleveland. Cleveland wearing the pink jersey for the Vermillion Tanagers tonight. Sends it up the sideline once again. Talked about it earlier, the weather conditions when it comes to fall soccer. Today is one of those days you don't necessarily mind it. You definitely feel the breeze out there, but at times it is extremely warm. Don't necessarily find yourself cooled off into the latter portions of the game. Soccer player probably preferred about 20% less humidity, another 10 to 15 degrees cooler. That's about perfect. But certainly beats better than what they were playing in earlier to start off this season, talking about temperatures in 90 degrees, and can't complain about this overcast skies. And what we've seen look like it's getting darker, or it feels like it's getting darker and darker at moments as well. Something, if you have not noticed, if you're a fan or have never been to the Veteran Sports Complex here on Raleigh French Football Field, you do have to get these games going as well. Here in the afternoon to early night, you cannot play a night game here as there are no stadium lights. So you can't have yourself a late night soccer game. Double A level, you'll see that a little bit more often as those evening games and get to turn on the lights on the football field. Vermillion Tanagers have enjoyed times, though, playing in the evening at First Bank and Trust Soccer Complex on the campus of the University of South Dakota. So mention a big thank you as well to First Bank and Trust, one of our sponsors, for sponsoring all sporting athletics here on Live Ticket TV. Going off that, don't forget Live Ticket TV tomorrow evening. Are you set and ready to go? The Vermillion Tanagers looking to ruin homecoming after it took over 2 decades to finally end a streak. In fact, 22 years West Central had beat the Vermillion Tanagers, but last year that streak came to an end inside the Dakota Dome. And tomorrow night on homecoming night, the Vermillion Tanagers will look to upset number 1 West Central in Class 11A. Our pregame coverage begins at 6 o'clock right here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live as well. If you haven't, make sure you hit that subscribe button and also turn on the notifications so every time that we go live with the broadcast, you can catch it as well. Cole, how was volleyball on Tuesday evening with the coach, Jody Zeller?
It was good. I mean, not maybe not the result they wanted, but when you go up against what I called a perennial powerhouse in my pregame, it's just kind of what you expected going in, and unfortunately that's how it goes. Vermillion hung in there, though, good for all 3 sets, but just lost 3-0. But other than that, they played pretty good.
Corner kick upcoming here Yeah, that's what I saw, of course, the scores. Had my own volleyball to do at the Class B level on Tuesday night, so that's why I was unavailable. Cross comes in, misses out on a few heads once again. T area has had some great corners, just haven't been able to put bodies on the ball. But yeah, saw the scores come in and close at points. I believe it was like 14-14 or something in that first set. I mean, it was right back and forth.
Yeah, the first set was probably the best out of all of them. They hung in there till about 13-14 points, and then Sioux Falls Christian went on like a 10-0 run, I think, to end the sets. So.
Yeah, and Sioux Falls Christian, as we know, just a powerhouse #1 in Class 11A. They're looking to see if they can't bring home a state title once again this year. A couple more substitutions are going to come on as coming into the game for the Vermillion Tanagers. Maddie Jerky the freshman, will step on, and also coming in for the second time this evening after she took a little bit of a breather, Stella Peterson, the midfielder, back out there for the T area Titans as she replaces number 10, which are going to have to get an update. I don't have a 10 on my roster here, so we see if we can't get an update on exactly who that is. Of course, when numbers get mixed up, there's usually one big scenario is what happens in that. Somebody forgot a jersey at home. Titans have it right now in the back half as they try to play it up through the near side. Stolen away, though, by the Tanagers. Controlling it in the center. Now off to the wide side. Knocked out of bounds. A little bit more contact as this game gets chippy towards the latter portion of this first half. T area leads it 1-0. By the way, I want to go back to football tomorrow night. I mentioned #1 in Class 11A, and I know you won't hear this from head coach Tom O'Boyle or any of the Vermillion coaches. They respect West Central quite a bit, but I will say this much, certainly a chance to win tomorrow night. I still say Class 11A is wide open this year. No one big team has really been a standout. We saw the Trojans put together a last-minute drive last week just to beat Madison. They played in a close one against Sioux Falls Christian in week 2. Otherwise, they blew out Custer, who Vermillion is going to see coming up for homecoming a little bit next week. And as I believe, starting to see the umbrellas pop up a little bit more. Looks like we're starting to see the sprinkles move into the area. Of course, as I mentioned, here at the Veteran Sports Complex, beautiful facility. We find ourselves underneath cover, so don't have to worry about any rain issues for us. I guess the windows are open, but if things start to come on,
we can work around that.
We can just simply close a window. So, well, Vermillion has it. As we're now into the 31st minute of action. 1-0. T area Titans still lead it. For about the past 5 minutes or so, Vermillion just trying to get their legs underneath of them, and now I'm starting to see substitutions. A little bit more for both teams. As Vermillion will make another substitution, and also the Titans go into their bench as well. Controlled by Vermillion. Now stolen away by the Titans. Giving it right back. Play in the center of the field. Cutting this one out. Great steal away there by Wallen once again. The substitution earlier in this game. But unfortunately, Vermillion not able to keep possession inside the 18. Another through ball finds itself in the middle. Vermillion defensively doesn't get back in time. Cleveland comes on late. This one across back to the middle. No one there. Finally a shot comes in, and this one just goes wide. And it all comes down to Chandler Cleveland with the hesitation as goalkeeper. It looks like they say it did take a deflection, maybe off of Vermillion. But again, Chandler came out but gave the stutter step at the goalie position, whether she wanted to get to it or not. And that gave a moment for the Titans just to carry it around Cleveland, but not able to finish it off. Vermillion, though, still has an issue. Finally cleared out of the box with Brady. And Vermillion survives a scare with a through ball that went right down the center. And for the T area Titans, you walk away with that play right there, that opportunity, and just have to be bummed out. That did not result in the back of the net. That is a perfect opportunity to score and not able to do so. And now it's controlled with Warren, but she's all by herself and really just trying to take on the defense by herself. No luck there as the Titans reset at the halfway line. Now come back over to this near side and get another substitution as Sammy has it. And then it goes out of bounds, cleared out by the Vermillion Tanagers. So it will stay with the Titans. 1-0 as we approach the end of the first half. Here into the 34th minute. This one goes just out of bounds on that corner. Again, can be difficult at times to see the field, especially when we find ourselves up in the broadcast booth with those lines and deep red. As I mentioned earlier, on a turf field, usually played where the football team does as well, you'll mainly see yellow lines. Now, those indication that, of course, helps to decipher from where the football field is at and where the soccer field is at. Still controlled by the Titans over on this near side. Sammy tries to get the clearance back out. Taylor Roover's there to cut it off. Now Warren, she slips as she just puts her foot over the top of the ball, goes out of bounds. They say last touch by the Titans. The Vermillion ball. And the Titans, with the Maddie Bats goal, lead it 1-0 over the Vermillion Tanagers. Pass that takes deflection high into the air. Comes down once again. The possession of Vermillion are not able to quite get there in time. And now, through the center, Titans still really haven't been able to work the middle of the pitch so far this evening, unless it has been through balls. As a few more sprinkles begin to fall here at Veteran Sports Complex. Again, this is why the game was moved up this evening, was to try to avoid this rain as much as possible. And now here come the Titans once again in the center. A shot just goes wide across the left side. Another opportunity for Maddie there as she's taking some deep breaths. And now frustrated with herself, not able to finish this one off. No, I'm sorry. That was not Maddie that time. This was Sydney Sherwood who had the opportunity in front of goal. She was unable to finish it off. And another substitution for the Vermillion Tanagers, as right now for Vermillion, they're going to start staring at the clock here. That's all they're trying to do is get to halftime, trailing 1-0. Now the official playing a little bit of defense here. Cleveland comes out, misses it, and this one is in a bad situation. Cross the middle. Cleveland finally recovers and cleared out by the Vermillion Tanagers, but the Titans continue to lay on the pressure. Still with T area. This time, Ventol crosses it in, high up into the air, and this one is going to be across all the way, but goes out of bounds. Well, for Chandler Cleveland, the junior goalkeeper has to remember one thing. If she's going to come out that far, you're the only person right now inside that 18-yard box that can use your hands, go down, and cut off the space. And it certainly puts yourself in a dangerous position as the goalkeeper if you miss it, or just even taking contact as a forward. You're going to try to work through that as much as possible. But again, that's just making yourself big, cutting off the space. Because if you stand up, it's just mano a mano. And the Titans so far have been able to work past Cleveland. Here come T-area once again, the cross in the middle, takes a little bit of deflection. Cleveland comes out once again, gets above her head, and this one finds its way into the back of the net. Chloe Wilson, the sophomore midfielder, able to finish it off there in the middle. The T-area Titans have been working it down this near sideline, cross after cross, finally able to break down the Tanager defense. Cleveland comes out once again, had 2 defenders around the ball, but the Titans finish it off, and they now lead it 2-0 with 3:22 remaining before halftime. And mentioned it just a moment ago, it seemed like this defense was playing for halftime, and in the end, could not wait it out long enough. And if you are the Vermillion Tanagers, now need to find something going offensively. As this one's with Cleveland. Now controlled, back out once again. Tanagers trying to reset the offense. This is an issue right now for Vermillion. No one playing in the center for that outlook back pass that can either control it to either wings right now. And finally, it's a turnover. As again, Vermillion was playing more from wing to middle. And if you can, you just want to go right back with that. Try to find someone in the middle and a little bit of space, and then let them dictate the tempo as they can see the layout of the defense a little bit better. But Vermillion right now trying to apply a little bit more pressure, as here comes the captain trying to do so. Finally cleared out. Vermillion will have it just outside the 18-yard box for a throw-in. Should be able to move up a little bit closer there. It's Brianna. She won't, though. Simply throws it in. Titans, though, control. Back to the near sideline. Almost stolen away. But a lucky bounce off the shin. And here comes T-area once again. With now 100 seconds remaining, Sammy Van Tol brings it up into the 18-yard box. She loses possession. And once again, for Sammy, just have to look up there, realize that the space is starting to close down, and make that pull back on the pass. Look for something either along the near sideline to reset the offense or cross it in. Unable to do so. And again, eventually just goes out of bounds as the rain continues to fall. I guess I should say more of sprinkles that we're seeing right now here at Raleigh French football field. Under 90 seconds remain first half. It's 2-0. Here comes Brady, the captain, on the counterattack. Just a heavy touch out in front. And then a throw and shoulder by Brady knocks down the defender there of Otten. Will be really the first foul we have seen of the game. I believe that was foul number 2 or 3 so far. Haven't seen a whole lot, but nonetheless goes against the Tanagers as the sprinkles continue to fall. 2-0. Miscommunication by the Tanagers. Sammy Van Tol found herself in a little bit of space, and this one goes out of bounds, as just letting it go out there was Carly Johnson, as she could have easily stopped that from going out of bounds and try to find something forward. And right now, just playing beyond the red lines. Well, they say it did touch the Vermillion Tanagers last, so a corner kick in, but this one will give no time to the T-area Titans. Just basically kicked it out, and that's when the buzzer sound. And at halftime, it is the T-area Titans that lead it over the Vermillion Tanagers 2-0. We're going to step aside, and we're back with a look at halftime and get you set for the second half and more sports coming up here on Live Ticket TV. That's all on the way next on Live Ticket TV.
Limestone canyons, flowing waterfalls, and pristine beauty make Spearfish a sanctuary for those seeking the ultimate escape. Outdoor enthusiasts will find top-notch sport climbing, mountain biking, and UTV OHV trails. Guests are steps away from peaceful hiking trails and tranquil streams. Relax and rehash your day's adventure at one of our award-winning local breweries. Finding rest is an important part of any adventure. Lodging in Spearfish comes with a variety of choices, from cabins, B&Bs, and campgrounds to the comforts of your popular brand-name hotels. To find your unique adventure in Spearfish, go to visitspearfish.com now.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Farmers know crop insurance is essential for managing risk. It's also valuable for maximizing revenue. The crop insurance officers at Farm Credit Services of America have proprietary tools and expertise to deliver the personalized crop and revenue protection you need for the peace of mind you want. Nobody delivers crop insurance like this. Discover the difference by calling 800-884-FARM. Agriculture works here.
We hope you are all enjoying the student productions of your school. Tonight's event and every event produced by your school during the school year are created, filmed, and produced by the students you love to follow and support. Become a booster of your school's live event coverage by becoming a sponsor. It's a great way to show your support of the athletes and students in your community. As a sponsor, you'll get great visibility for your business, organization, or family by supporting the live productions of your school.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Limestone canyons, flowing waterfalls, and pristine beauty make Spearfish a sanctuary for those seeking the ultimate escape. Outdoor enthusiasts will find top-notch sport climbing, mountain biking, and UTV OHV trails. Guests are steps away from peaceful hiking trails and tranquil streams. Relax and rehash your day's adventure at one of our award-winning local breweries. Finding rest is an important part of any adventure. Lodging in Spearfish comes with a variety of choices, from cabins, B&Bs, and campgrounds to the comforts of your popular brand-name hotels. To find your unique adventure in Spearfish, go to visitspearfish.com now.
Well, back here at Raleigh French Football Field, the Veteran Sports Complex on the campus of the Vermillion High School at halftime in girls soccer action. It's the T-Area Titans that lead it 2-0 over the Vermillion Tanagers, as right now the little kids out in I think they called it a penalty shootout. I guess it's just more taking penalty kicks right now is what they're doing. Now, Cole, I will say this much. When I was growing up younger, my brother, an assistant soccer coach, was always stressing, I'm a right-handed person, of course, right-footed as well, but in soccer, he always wanted to be be able to use my left more and more. So after one soccer practice, he said, we're going to do some penalty kicks, but you can only use your left foot. I will play goalkeeper, and we'll be here until you get 10 in a row. Now, my brother couldn't play goalkeeper, so I was good, just put in the back of the net. But the thing was, I couldn't use my left foot at the best when I was still kind of that 8th grader freshman in high school. I think we spent another 2.5 hours out at the soccer field because I could not put 10 in a row together. Mom and Dad thought that was kind of funny, but then told my brother, never again. He does still have a curfew at that young of age, and that's how I learned how a little bit better to use my left foot. I will always thank my brother for that. As again, right now the kids just enjoying themselves, taking the penalty kicks. Myself, I was a little bit more, I always favorited the left side when I got my chance to step up and take a penalty kick. One of the main options for me. I tried to avoid it as much as I possibly could as I got into my junior and senior years of soccer, because just as these girls do and boys do, we start seeing the same teams over and over again. I made friends throughout my years of high school soccer. Everyone knew I was going to be going to the left, so I tried more and more going to the right. I started putting it a little bit off too far to the right, and when it's a penalty kick, if you don't score, you certainly get hassled by your teammates. So right now, kids just enjoying it for the Vermillion girls as they went back into the corner off to our left side, just trying to regather themselves as the T area Titans scored just beyond the halfway point of the first half. Kind of against the run of play. Looked like really Maddie Batts had no opportunity, but was able to stop and turn it across the face of goal and get a big one. And then there at the close to the end of the first half, another goal added by Chloe Wilson, the sophomore midfielder. Just saw a cross come in the center, took a deflection there, 2 defenders, and again, Cleveland was kind of caught out of position in the goalie box and able to put it in the back of the net, the T area Titans, and that is how they lead it 2-0. Again, for the Vermillion Tanagers, it was a big victory the other night against the Garrettson Blue Dragons, where they won 5-0. And again, more soccer coming up for them later on this season. But when looking back on the Vermillion Tanager season so far, it certainly has been off to a little bit of a rough start. Their only wins have come against Garrettson to open up the season 6-1. Otherwise, lost against a great West Central team. Once again, as we mentioned, lost to the T area Titans. They tied Groton area back to in the month of August 1-1. As I mentioned, lost to West Central a second time, 5-0. And then Sioux Falls Christian last week, 2-0 up in Sioux Falls. As I mentioned, to get the win against Garrettson on Tuesday evening. More soccer still coming up for the Vermillion girls, as coming up next week, they're on the road down to North Sioux City to take on Dakota Valley before they are home against Sioux Falls Christian and Dakota Valley as well. But those games all kind of separate over the next couple of weeks' time before we get into the month of August and things wrap up, or excuse me, the month of October, where things really start to wrap up. For the T area Titans, I mentioned coming into tonight's action, they found themselves towards the top of the table, and we're getting right now 6-2 overall, where their really only losses have come against some big AA teams. In fact, the T area Titans, as they continue to prepare more and more for that jump in the future, do play against more of, well, AA teams, as they still have Sioux Falls Jefferson, Sioux Falls Washington, and Sioux Falls Lincoln yet coming up on their schedule. And again, this is all just kind of preparing the T area Titans that continue to make that jump that we'll see them make here in a couple years completely with all of their athletics. Of course, we have seen football move up to that AA level where they have had a lot of success. In fact, last Friday night they beat Sioux Falls O'Gorman, a AAA team, and of course we saw them throughout the years with Vermillion High School, a great team that they were. All right, we're going to step aside once again here on halftime with Live Ticket TV. Once we come back, we'll get you set for the second half in football as well. That's coming up tomorrow night. That's on the way next on Live Ticket TV.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Back at Veteran Sports Complex on Raleigh French football field as we are set and ready to go for the second half. It's 2-0. The T-Area Titans lead it over the Vermillion Tanagers, as the only difference we see here as we get underway for the second half, of course, is we're going to see the switch of play as now the T-Area Titans will be heading towards the north goal, whereas the Vermillion Tanagers will be attacking the south. And we are underway. So again, we come back. Don't forget as well, I bet you could message them on Facebook as well. They'll get you taken care of. They'll get you set up. The Vermillion High School Booster Club continues to have their raffle, and they're going to pick out the winner with the raffle tickets next week for homecoming at the football game. But you have your chance for their raffle that is going on to win 4 different prizes that are up for grabs right now, including on that list a reserved front row parking for volleyball, wrestling, basketball, and gymnastics, a big red cooler, a set of 4 metal coasters, attack for the Titans, and this one slipping down in the box, hesitation there, and trying to get a penalty maybe, but nothing called for the Titans. I was mentioning, for the Booster Club, a set of 4 metal coasters with the Tanager logo and 2 Tanager tumblers and 2 soft stadium seats with the gray Tanager blanket. Tickets right now, $10 for a ticket or 3 for $25. As again, that raffle is going to continue on until next Friday when they're going to pick the lucky winner. Here come the Titans once again as they put one across the face of goal. This time Chandler Cleveland falls to the ground and covers this one up, but the Titans coming very, very quickly into this second half. Like I said, boosters, help them out, support today. Of course, the Vermillion Boosters. I mean, you talk about all the great work that they have done over the past few years, including the improvements here to the Veteran Sports Complex, allowing us to play soccer right here over the past few years. There have been several different locations that the Tanagers have played out, but the Boosters have just been a big help in so many different areas in all athletics as well. And don't forget, if you would like to become a Vermillion Booster today, they have different levels that you can do so. You don't have to be a business owner. You can find out more information at gotanagers.com. Well, the rain continues to fall a little bit more, as this time it's starting to come in with the big drops as we are just into the second half. It's been a majority of the Titans so far here on the attack as they have it once again on that far side. Van Tol puts in a far cross that goes over the head of Cleveland. The Titans still have it inside the 18, finally cleared away. Vermillion really can't get possession of it, though. And it's still controlled with the Titans as they're going to go back, reset once again, and now have that opportunity where I talked about earlier. Vermillion, if they want to kind of get resets, they need to be taking a page out of T right now. And this is exactly what the Titans are doing. They're sending it all the way back. They're trying to switch play. Just watch where the Vermillion defense is at, what they are giving them, and just get the complete reset. But this time, carrying it out of bounds are the T-area Titans. And the sophomore defender had it along the near sideline, but just poked it out of bounds herself. And now a battle for the ball. Cleveland gets the last touch of it, and will go out. Titans in white. Mentioned moving from right to left as you see it, attacking the north goal. Have it right now. Made the joke earlier with him as he was the one that let me know the game had gotten moved up. But Mr. Huska, if he's out there, make sure his bald head is covered. I hear if it gets wet, he starts to melt. So make sure he gets covered up as well. So he's a little soft when it comes to the rain. 2-0. D-area Titans lead it over the Vermillion Tanagers. I am going to get some crap for that a little bit later on. Now, I know he was grumpy earlier with me because I did bring up Notre Dame football. We're both big Fighting Irish fans, and it has not been good what the Fighting Irish have done so far this season. Of course, new head coach, new system, but got to beat Marshall. The Ohio State is a reasonable loss. Can't lose against Marshall, though. Speaking of also college football, I don't know if Nebraska fans necessarily happy with the decision when it was made because they're looking at all the money that they lost out on. Scott Frost released as a head coach. Cole, what do you think of that one? Do you like that decision? I know you're a big Cornhusker fan.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm a big Cornhusker fan, but I still think they should have waited a couple more weeks and they saved themselves about $8 million. And if you're going to fire him then, why not let him tank 3 games and then fire him that much later?
And now a cross that comes in that finds its way off the goalpost on the left side. And this one is a goal for the T-area Titans, and they now lead it 3-0. Certainly not trying to score that time for the T-area Titans, but coming up with a big goal. They now lead it 3-0. I'll get you the goal scorer here in just a moment. I believe that was Sammy Von Tol that got the goal there. Again, still waiting for her to... I know what girl it is, but I can't quite tell. I want to say that was her, but I haven't seen her number quite necessarily turn around to us, as the Titans do not have numbers on the front of their jerseys, only on the back. But nonetheless, the T-area Titans are comfortably in control of this one, now leading it 3-0. Of course, we'll play the full 80 minutes here. And now Cleveland gets a pass, and this one is saved from just going out of bounds, still controlled with the Tanagers. Played up the near sideline, and now still in. Tanagers have it. Stop for a moment. Cleveland comes back, but no one there in the center to control. A little bit of a whiff of a kick, but controlled once again there from Mockler, the senior. It was 18, as we thought, Sammy Van Tol, the senior forward, who came up with the third goal for the T-area Titans. Again, what looked like a supposed cross for her just kept on carrying towards the goal and really surprised everybody. And they now lead it 3-0. Didn't mean to cut you off there either, Cole. Also, you are a huge fan of the Cornhuskers. You have season tickets.
I don't have the season tickets. My dad has them. He's been a big fan of the Cornhuskers since the 90s, so that's when he first got introduced, and I'm sure he's disappointed with how they've been playing since they haven't been good since the 90s, but that's neither here nor there.
Don't forget as well, speaking of college football, Vermillion on the road, but more specifically, USD on Saturday is home finally against Cal Poly. Last time I saw the betting line, 20-point favorites. In the middle, this one shot just goes wide. Sammy Van Tol has really starting to take over this game, finding space once again in the middle, just puts her shot off to the left. The Titans still lead it 3-0. But again, Vermillion Tanagers football, they take on number 1 West Central tomorrow night. Again, catch all the action right here on Vermillion Tanagers Live. Pre-game coverage begins at 6 o'clock as we'll sit down with both head coaches, Chris Hernandez, in his second year in charge of the West Central Trojans. Of course, we'll catch up with second-year head coach Tom O'Boyle of the Vermillion Tanagers. Coach OB has been around for quite longer than 2 years in coaching roles. Of course, Vermillion coming off their first win of the season against Millbank. By the way, Coach Hernandez of West Central did tell me yesterday he does not miss California. Now, if you did not know, that's where he eventually actually came out from, Laguna Beach out in California. Moved back to South Dakota. Of course, took over for Coach B, longtime coach there at West Central, before he moved on to take the job at Sioux Falls Jefferson, where they're having a phenomenal year in just their second season. They're undefeated, ranked number 1 in Class AAA. A lot of great football coming up tomorrow evening. Like I said, pregame coverage begins at 6. First kick set for 7 o'clock. Now the rain starts to come in a little bit harder, and we're going to have to close the window. That's all they put on us. As talked about earlier, Cole, going off this, weather conditions. I mentioned when we start this game, overcast and cloudy. Temperature just above 80 degrees, a little bit sticky. So now with the rain, what does it affect? How do you see it as a soccer player, especially on natural grass like this? You're going to see basically everything remains the same. Of course, you're going to be a little bit more slippery out there, but not as much. You're not going to see as much slip if you were on turf. The ball will move a little bit quicker as well, but ultimately you're just going to be more uncomfortable if your jersey wasn't sweaty enough. Now it's wet. As we mentioned, the rain that comes through, that's about all we see of it as quickly the rain starts to dissipate. And Cole Larsh will open up the window once again. Temperature really hasn't changed a whole lot here at Raleigh French Football Field. There's now substitutions for the T-Area Titans. They'll make 3 here. The Titans have been using their bench a little bit more than the Vermillion Tanagers. 3-0. So we continue on here into the 51st minute. 3-0 lead for the T-Area Titans, who have added another goal with Sammy Van Tol in this second half. So for Vermillion so far this season, down to 8-0 against the Titans. And the only time these two teams meet up, just twice during the regular season. By the way, don't forget to check out the Live Ticket TV app as well, where you can find a full list of more games that we'll be covering here on Live Ticket TV for Vermillion Sports. A thought about going to do some volleyball tonight with Coach Amy Nelson and the volleyball team that's in action against Madison. But thought, you know what, we haven't got a soccer game in yet this season, so wanted to make sure we got that in as well. And want to get more soccer games in. Now, of course, the plan was always to get more soccer in, especially on Tuesday night. That was the plan, get some boys soccer in with the Mitchell Colonels and then move over to volleyball. But as I mentioned, with my new job, sometimes get called away to go help out other schools. Found myself up with the Centerville Tornadoes. This Live Ticket TV family continues to expand statewide. Recently adding more schools here in the southeast part of the state, including Centerville and even this past weekend, this past Saturday, Beersford officially came on. Watchdogs also a new team to Class 11A. We'll see them for some sports action with volleyball coming up later on this season on Live Ticket TV. Again, download that app. You can find more sports, of course, football and volleyball throughout the season. Also find yourself some basketball, wrestling, gymnastics during the winter season. Then, of course, coming up, everyone's anticipating this. Should be a lot of fun. Softball, and we'll even have baseball on Live Ticket TV. Of course, the baseball team, the high school level, phenomenal season. Then we won't talk about what happened during the postseason. Things just kind of sputtered right at the last moment and did not finish where they wanted to. But when it came to what they brought with the Legion, well, everything seemed to go right there, and they had to face all the adversity too. I believe if you look in Gregory, South Dakota, for the year 2022, the hottest day is when Vermillion had to play 2 baseball games to win a championship. 111 degrees at one point.
Yeah, that's miserable. 111.
Oh, and the thing was, I mean, I felt for those boys. Of course, people asked how I felt, and I'm like, I'm fine. I felt bad for our equipment as well. In Gregory, South Dakota, there was no coverage. Unless you were Midco. Midco got the broadcast booth right away when they showed up for the championship game. But we made it through, and in the end, all that mattered was a Reese Profrock Grand Slam, and the rest is history as Vermillion brought home that state title. It was really cool to see them, as I mentioned, winning just those 2 games and one day in less than really an hour apart from each other. T-Area Titans still working it down the far side, now carried back out. And again, I love what this Titans attack does. Don't see anything through the middle. Can't find really any space, so they're going to reset all the way to the back. Yeah, allows Vermillion defensively to reset as well, but ultimately just keeps that possession moving forward for the Titans as they're trying to give a little give and go action right now. And again, reset to the middle. This is where they have the options. Play it to the center, make it work to the left, or go to the right. And they go center out to left, and a shot from about 25 yards out. This one goes into the hands of Cleveland as Chloe Wilson, looking for her second goal of the evening, puts it right into the hands of Cleveland. 3-0. Almost to the halfway point of this second half. The Titans have been really in the driver's seat throughout. Vermillion girls, a little bit of a youthful team with experience in there as well. Have a lot of 7th graders coming up through the ranks over the next few years. Now for the Vermillion girls, do not have any, or I should say don't have a JV team. Everyone on the varsity team did not have a JV game before this. Went just straight into varsity. 3-0. Again on 5:44. Already on a Thursday evening, which I know Cole Larsh, he's pumped about that. We got Thursday night football coming up a little bit later on. Titans carrying once again. Shot comes in. A great save by Cleveland. It looks like this one might have been taking its way into the side netting, but Cleveland, a great decision there. Doesn't want to mess around with it and knocks it out of bounds. This will be a corner kick, as that was Kia, the sophomore defender, who got up there and threw a shot inside the box. But a heads-up play there by Cleveland. Got nothing wrong with uncertainty there, making sure you parry that one out of bounds. Across this one, not well taken by the Titans. Something they really haven't had issues with this evening is great corners. But still retain possession as they reset all the way once again. As that defensive line, kind of 3 in a row, continue to make that trek more and more forward. I am slightly surprised, though, that we don't see the goalkeeper, Jessica Nelson, start to play up more and more as well. She finds herself right about the 12-yard spot in the 18-yard box. This one throwing in where the tight ends. Cleveland quickly comes up and covers that one up. A smart play there by Cleveland to leave no doubt. Boots this one down the field. Titans keep it with possession. Getting close to the halfway mark and now sent down the far sideline. Goes out of bounds. Titans leading it 3-0. Colback, where come from in Iowa, when we played soccer, we did not have ball boys around the field. So if we kicked the ball across the track, we didn't have a track around ours. But if we kicked the ball deep in there, we always said whoever kicked it last had to go after it. So if you didn't kick it last, if your team didn't kick it last, the other team had to go get it. Whoever touched it last had to go get it.
Seems like a fair rule. It's like something you'd hear at like a recess, almost like a recess soccer game, is if you kick it over the fence, you got to go get it.
It didn't always work that way, though. There were moments where people just stared at each other and said, all right, who's going to get the ball?
Well, then you just got to rock, paper, scissors.
And this one, a shot comes in from just above the 18-yard box, gets by Cleveland into the bottom left corner, and there's another goal. 2 here in the second half, 2 for Chloe Wilson, and now the T area Titans, they lead it 4-0 over the Vermillion Tanagers. And with her 2 goals of the evening, Chloe Wilson will give way to Seda Affa, who will come in for her spot in the midfield, and Wilson will get a well-deserved break. She has 2 on the evening. And again, the T area Titans lead it 4-0. Rock, paper, scissors didn't necessarily work. Once you got to the heat of the battle, you didn't know rock, paper, scissors wasn't the way to go. Usually I had some choice words. Made sure the ref, though, couldn't hear those choice words.
Oh, yeah. Been there, done that in football games.
Those choice words, if they were heard, are always a warning. Don't let it come out of your mouth again.
Yeah, you always got to make sure the ref isn't around.
Happens again in soccer. Of course, you're going to see that yellow card. 4-0. Titans lead it over the Vermillion Tanagers, and the Titans coming once again as they work it down the far sideline. Just controlling. Now stolen away. Trying to make a cross come in, take a deflection, and this one will go out of bounds. So corner kick. I'm coming for the Titans. Again, leading it 4-0, just past the halfway mark here of this second half, where the Titans are well in control. A quick substitution for Vermillion as coming out will be Grace Chauncey, and coming back in, Madigan Wallen, who gave quite a bit of playing time there in that first half in the corner. We'll go just into the side netting. Goal kick for Vermillion. Don't like to see that with a corner kick for the T area Titans, excuse me. Always make something happen on the corners. At least keep it in play. Give your team a chance. Give your team an opportunity. But the Titans leading at 4-0. Don't have to worry about that now. A pass given away. Miscommunication. Here come the Vermillion Tanagers trying to work it down the near sideline, but never really having clear possession. Was Roovers there. The Titans go all the way back to Nelson, the goalkeeper. And they'll work it down the far sideline, trying to bring it up, and this one goes out of bounds. Vermillion, possession of the ball. They're in the center, but Titans have it right back. Everyone kind of on top of each other, spread out, spread out. What you're saying here as a coach right now. Now ball over the top. Who's going to get there first? Tanagers will, but still in there fighting on the Titans. And finally they come up with possession. Squared up the entire time. This one poked over the crossbar. Sydney Newhart, the senior forward, was just waiting at the top of the box. She wanted it all the way and found the perfect spot and fired the shot in. But again, Cleveland there to get a glove and poke it out for a corner kick. Now, the way I saw that, it went more over to the left. So it should be a corner kick off to the left, but it's taken from the right. This one eventually goes over the goal, out for a goal kick. Didn't know that. That's how that works, depending on where it finds itself at. Go left or right. Do not get to pick the corner that you want to take it from. There's a substitution for the Vermillion Tanagers, as this one is booted close to the halfway mark. Vermillion still has it. Want to get it over to Taylor. Pass was never there. Cut off by the Titans, and here they come once again. T area on the attack. Still in control. Inside the 18-yard box. A little bit of a pass. Takes the deflection back out. Titans then lose it out of bounds for a goal kick. Nice hustle effort there from Maddie Batts. Trying to set up an assist there. Find something in the middle, but again, pass eventually cut off. She has a goal this evening. One of the 4 for the T area Titans. Here come the Titans once again. It's Kia, the sophomore, on the near side. Still control. Now make a pass. Good cut back into the 18-yard box. Still cruising in. Player down for the Titans was Sydney Sherwood, who again went down after contact made with the ball. Great no call there by the official. Contact with the ball first, and then contact with the player comes afterwards. As the attacker, you're never going to get that call in your favor. But the Titans still have it. From outside the 18-yard box, where they've taken quite a bit of their shots so far this evening. This one goes wide for Sherwood and goes out of bounds for the senior attacker. Four to nothing, just beyond the halfway point. Of this second half. Cole jumping up and down. I'm guessing something about fantasy football?
No, we got rain at the house finally for probably the first time in a month, so.
Oh.
It's too late for that now, but
yeah,
you'll take anything you can get.
It is that farming season. Cole, you help back on the farm at all?
I will, probably.
All right. When's farming duties begin for you?
Anytime I'm back there.
All right.
Anytime I go back home, my dad will find something for me to do.
All right, all right.
And then once harvest season rolls around, he'll probably be calling me every day, wondering what day I'm going to come back.
That's right. That's why I'll spend some of my weekends coming up in October as well, making a 3-hour trip back home, spend a good 30 hours in the combine just sitting around doing nothing, then all of a sudden sitting there 3 hours in the car, find my way back to Yankton, South Dakota. By the way, some people still don't know that. Don't tell anybody in Vermillion that I'm not a Vermillion boy. I have thought about it many times of moving, but I have been living in Yankton for a little over 5 years now. I don't tell them where I live at, otherwise they'll start hitting golf balls at my house. Especially if you're on the golf course. Trying to work it down the sideline, the T area Titans. Deflection goes out of bounds. As I mentioned, the T area Titans, still a hectic schedule upcoming. If you're just tuning in or missed out on it at halftime. Still a lot of AA teams, including Jefferson, Washington, and Lincoln, yet on the schedule for the T area Titans, which I believe are all in Sioux Falls. I want to say they might all be at Howard Wood as well. I have to double check the schedule. Now, I guess I say up in Sioux Falls and making it sound like it's a far drive for the T area Titans.
About 10 minutes, probably.
Don't tell T area fans yet, but it's getting closer and closer to Sioux Falls. For some of us, it just feels like Sioux Falls. Another substitution as checking into the soccer game. Maya Newhart is back in. And coming out is Sage Hoffman, the freshman midfielder. Well, the Titans continue to have it in the attacking half along that far sideline. Vermillion tries to clear it out, which they're able to do so. Again, nobody up there in attack. To Howard Wood. Jefferson next week is at home.
Oh.
So again, home against Jefferson, at Howard Wood against Sioux Falls, Washington, at Groton area, at Dakota Valley, and then at Sioux Falls, Lincoln. So a lot of road trips yet for the T area Titans. I mentioned the Sioux Falls, Washington, and Sioux Falls, Lincoln, not necessarily road trips. But a Groton area, Dakota Valley, of course, Dakota Valley, a little bit of a road trip down to North Sioux City, state of South Dakota. And now this one, is going to be a handball by Cleveland. The T area Titans, confusion off. They want to go quickly here. Now the shot comes in. Took a deflection off the hand, but it was in a natural position. Another deflection maybe off the hand. Again, has to be out of an unnatural position for it to officially be called the handball as more raindrops continue to fall. But in the end, the T area Titans, after the handball from Cleveland coming too far out of the box, don't take advantage of it, but another through ball. But this time, Cleveland comes up and cuts off the space. Well, as we move into the 69th minute here, 4-0, the T area Titans. Well in control. The umbrellas back out for about, the fourth or fifth time. And now we are seeing the heaviest of the rain start to come down. A heavier raindrops are upon us here at Raleigh French Football Field. Here come the Vermillion Tanagers in the attacking half in what seems like it's been forever. And now a pass that gets nowhere close to Taylor and will go out of bounds. And now for the T area Titans, they will bring on the second team, clear out the bench, and have some fun with this at the end. If you're that second team for the Titans, you wear white jerseys. The only goal here trying to accomplish now, get those things dirty, have a little bit of fun. Here come the Titans trying to open up the middle. But Vermillion throws it right back forward. Into the box it goes, picked up by the new goalkeeper. Now we'll say the raindrops falling gently on my guitar or something like that. Gently on the window here, make it even a little bit tougher now for me to read the numbers. Everything, I'm starting to see a two of everybody at this moment. A little bit of wonkiness. All right, won't complain too much. Under the final 10 minutes here. 4-0. T area Titans on top of the Vermillion Tanagers. This one, throw in. Header from Brady goes into the side of the net. For the Vermillion Tanagers, as we mentioned, the girls get closer to wrapping up their season. Only 3 more games ahead on their schedule before the regular season is wrapped up, and they kind of all fall over the next few weeks. As looking at the Vermillion girls schedule, get earlier win this week against Groton area, but have Dakota Valley coming up next week, Sioux Falls Christian on the 27th, and then back home against Dakota Valley. Ball goes out of bounds. This will be a goal kick. As I mentioned, check out the Live Ticket TV app. You can find out more sports there that we're covering for the Vermillion Tanagers. a reminder as well. Of course, we have football coming up tomorrow night. Pre-game coverage begins at 6 o'clock, with kickoff set for 7 o'clock as the Vermillion football team on the road trying to upset the West Central Trojans on homecoming night. As I mentioned, caught up with both Coach Hernandez and Coach OB already. I feel confident in this one. I would expect a game that never gets above 10 points for either team. It's going to be back and forth, and certainly will come down to those last few minutes tomorrow night. It's going to be an exciting game. We'll love to see you in Hartford, South Dakota, but if you can't make it, again, we'll have all the coverage right here on Vermillion Tanagers Live. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification button there as well with the bell. Get your notifications turned on for when we go live. And again, download that Live Ticket TV app to find all the sports we're covering here. And a big thank you as well to our sponsors of Vermillion, including First Bank and Trust, for helping us out this sports season with Vermillion Athletics. Also, big shout out to the Vermillion Boosters for helping us out once again. They have their raffle ongoing. Check out their Facebook page for the full details on how you can purchase raffle tickets today. If you'd like to be a member, check out their website as well, gotanagers.com. Don't have to be a business owner to be a member. Anyone can be a member. Their updated website as well, just got a couple of touch-ups to it over the past few weeks, so make sure you check that out today. Big shout, thank you to the Boosters as well for always helping on concession stands when it comes to home activities. Cross inside the box for the T-Area Titans. This one's going to be cut out. The Titans once again, even with their second team out there on the pitch, reset as they go all the way back and now up the near sideline. Trying to cut something through. A little give and go just outside the 18-yard box. The cross comes in. This one headed away. Great thinking, though, by the Titans. T-Area still with it. In the middle of the box. Lets the shot fly. Saved by Cleveland. Ball still loose. And finally cleared out by the Vermillion Tanagers. But the Titans have it once again. Trying to press forward. Still controlled with the Titans, and now Vermillion clears it out. Just up that far sideline. They quickly get a new ball in. Titans still in possession. Middle of the pitch. Now moving it closer to the near sideline. Finally getting closer. Back once again. Here come the Titans. Inside the 18-yard box, a little bit of space cut out. Titan falls to the ground, and finally Vermillion clears it out, but Titans will have it on a throw-in. Seen some pink cleats out there as well, Cole. That was my color. Senior was pink, and I decided to go pink that year. It's really unique. Yes, I got a lot of weird looks. Decided to go the pink cleats. What was it? Gold my junior year. I don't remember what was it. I want to say my sophomore year was some kind of funky green. And then, of course, the traditional orange. My freshman year, orange was my favorite color, so I had to get those in somewhere. But change cleats every single year? No, I did not need to either. my mom always wondered why I bought new cleats every year. 'Cause, Mom, it's hip, it's cool.
Right.
You gotta change. You gotta do what the pros do. They always have new cleats every single game. You gotta be like the pros. At least change them out every season. That's what you get in soccer. That's your fashion statement. It's the cleat cover.
Yep.
The color that you got to pick out. I will have to shout out, mine did go back all the money to breast cancer research. So I was like, all right, why not buy the pink cleats then?
Right.
4-0. T-Area Titans are going to win this one as we are now here in the 76th minute. As time trickles away. 3:11 and rolling. Of course, if you're big into professional soccer, you don't see stoppage time in high school. A great cross that comes. A header that goes just wide, set up nicely there, but not able to finish it off on the great cross from the Titans. Trying to add one more. Again, they beat Vermillion earlier this season, 5-0. And tonight they're going to get the victory as of right now, 4-0. Can't get this one under control. Goes out of bounds. And don't forget, 6 o'clock tomorrow night. It's your Friday Night Lights from Hartford, South Dakota. West Central Trojans take on the Vermillion Tanagers. Tanagers kind of have it here in the attacking half. Trying to make something happen. But giving right back is now the Titans along the near side. Oh, clearance back once again. He'll be picked up by the Titans goalkeeper. Well, speaking of football as well, might as well give a shout out. Number 2, T area. They're on the road, a far road trip out to Douglas, South Dakota. I think I can safely say this without getting in trouble.
Careful now.
I know. I do have to be careful. Last time I did high school soccer, I might have said a few things that got me in trouble at one point. But Douglas might have one of the toughest broadcast vantage points from the broadcast booth. I don't think I've ever said this before, but for Douglas, I would say this much. I'd rather sit outside than be inside. And the reason that is I'm not for sure what's on the windows. And maybe it's gone, but when I was there a few years ago, there was some kind of like tint on the windows that made everything a little bit warpy and blurry. And you couldn't actually necessarily see the best out the windows. You certainly couldn't see numbers. And that was, like I said, about 4 or 5 years ago. So things might have changed since then. And it was a huge booth. I mean, nothing wrong with it, but it was just like you couldn't see anything out of it. And just in the end, kind of hindered. That was back before really the big streaming days. So like I said, it might have gotten fixed, but nonetheless, it is a little bit of a far trip out there to Douglas. Of course, Douglas, a team that never really is consistent. Of course, being right there with the Air Force Base, you see that change in and out constantly with new kids coming in and out of the school system. Well, Vermillion in the final 20 seconds trying to make something happen. Brady not able to get there in time. And the Titans will be able to work down this clock as the final 10 seconds tick away with the T area Titans that are going to get a victory by the final score of 4-0 over the Vermillion Tanagers, as the Tanager girls on their season now fall to 2-5-1, and the T area Lady Titans advance to 7-2 on their season. Well, before we wrap up our broadcast, want to give you that final reminder of coming up tomorrow night. We'll have Vermillion football as they take on the West Central Trojans. That all comes up. Pre-game coverage begins at 6 o'clock tomorrow with the kickoff set for 7 o'clock. Again, you can catch it right here on Live Ticket TV. Vermillion Tanagers Live. Make sure you subscribe. And, of course, it will be shared out there on Facebook and Twitter as well. But we hope you can join us for the broadcast tomorrow night. Otherwise, make it out to Hartford, South Dakota, and cheer on the Vermillion boys as they try to upset number 1 West Central tomorrow night. For Cole Larsh, I'm Heath Nimke. You've been listening to Vermillion Tanagers Girls Soccer here on Live Ticket TV. Final score, once again, 4-0. The T area Titans beat the Vermillion Tanagers. Until tomorrow evening, and basically 24 hours, have yourself a wonderful rest of your evening.